English podcast Breaking News. Orders were signed just this evening by Commander of Army Region 1, Army Region 2, and Commander of the border provinces of Trat and Chanthaburi. Altogether, 6 provinces come under the order of closing all the checkpoints between Thailand and Cambodia on these 6 provinces, with the official reason being that the Cambodian troops have intruded into Thai territory, have set up permanent positions, and have recruited civilians to show symbolic activities. Symbolic activities meaning they came over to the Thai side or the disputed area to sing their national anthem. The orders were signed by the commanders, meaning that military leaders on the border provinces are now taking action authorized by the Prime Minister, who earlier today ordered a meeting and decided to announce a package of measures to crack down on illegal activities, call centers, and gambling, and including money laundering activities along the Thai-Cambodian border. This means that Thailand is now embarking on sterner measures against Cambodia. And you can expect reactions, retaliatory measures from the Cambodian side. Almost immediately, I would expect tonight or tomorrow morning, we can expect strong responses from maybe all the way from the Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Manet, who has been quite active on Facebook in declaring his positions against Thailand, including last night's announcement that Cambodia will not import or will ban imports of petrol, oil, and gas from Thailand, and that Cambodia can take care of its own demand. Also, declaring that there will be no negotiations between the 2 countries. If the Thai army wants border points to be reopened, then the army from the Thai side must initiate the reopening. And no more than 5 hours after that, the Cambodian side will also reopen the checkpoints. Hun Manet claims that because the Thai side has started this border closure measures, he's not going to take part in any bilateral negotiations. There will not be negotiations. Thailand would have to reopen the border checkpoint, and Cambodia will follow suit, but not the other way around. Tonight's announcement or orders by the commanders, army commanders on the border, or the 6 provinces, as you can see on the map here, all the way from Sithichai, Surin, Buriram, Sa Kaeo, Chanthaburi, and Trat. They are all major checkpoints. Surely, the closure of the checkpoints will affect the local people, border trade, and more importantly, the relations between the 2 countries, which has been simmering in the past 2 weeks. This particular set of orders to close checkpoints will certainly raise the tension between the 2 countries. The 2 governments seem to be now at loggerheads, and before any negotiations start, I can expect the temperature to rise further before both sides realize that such confrontation or this series of confrontations will not help solve the situation. We will see whether leaders of the 2 countries will attempt to sit down and arrange for a series of negotiations from the very top to the middle level and the local levels. There are at least 3 levels of border committees, which so far have not met: military, civilians, and technicians. But then today's actions will signify another raising of tension, which is not going to benefit either side of the border. We will see what's going to happen next. But our AI team, Ping and Pong, is on notice, has been checking details, and will now report to you the details of the latest developments on the Thai-Cambodian border. Hi, Ping and Pong.
Welcome to Suthichai Live English Podcast Breaking News. We're embarking on a deep dive today into a rapidly evolving and, well, truly critical situation at the Thai-Cambodian border.
Yeah, it's moving fast.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this isn't just about, diplomatic statements. It feels like a complex, multi-layered story.
Definitely. Significant implications for both nations and potentially beyond.
So our mission today really is to cut through the noise. Let's unpack the latest announcements, try to understand the motivations behind them.
And connect these actions to the broader, maybe hidden issues at play.
Exactly. Give you, the listener, a clear picture.
That's the goal. A comprehensive view without getting bogged down. We'll look at the official stances, sure, but also the reasons behind these dramatic border closures.
And then maybe pull back the curtain a bit.
Right. On some surprising underlying factors, things that make this much more intricate than it might seem at first glance. By the end, you should have a solid grasp of what's truly happening.
Okay, let's get started then. Let's unpack those initial actions. It was June 23rd, 2025, right, when we saw these very significant orders.
That's right. From the commanders of Army Region 1, that's the Barafa Force, and Army Region 2, the Saranari Force.
And these weren't minor adjustments, were they? They sounded pretty strict.
Oh, absolutely. Full-scale strict measures. We're talking about 5 specific Thai provinces along that border.
Which ones exactly?
Let's see. Ubon Ratchathani, Sisaket, Surin, Buram, and Sakio.
Okay, quite a stretch. And the measures themselves?
Very stringent. They prohibited all types of vehicles, no entry, no exit.
Wow, all vehicles.
Yep, and beyond that, no travel for any individuals. That means Thai citizens, foreign tourists.
Even tourists?
Even tourists. And importantly, all forms of cross-border trade were also barred. It was effectively a comprehensive shutdown at those specific checkpoints.
That sounds like a really drastic step. What was the official reason? What grounds did the military actually give for this?
Well, Major General Wintai Suveri, he's the Army spokesperson, he laid out a sort of dual rationale, which is quite telling, I think.
Okay, what was the first part?
First, the emphasis was clearly on national sovereignty protection and public safety.
Standard security language, almost?
Sort of, but it was framed specifically as a response to the security situation and these ongoing tensions, political, diplomatic, and military tensions between Thailand and Cambodia.
Right.
And crucially, they stated these measures were needed because they felt the Cambodian side had intruded into Thai territory.
Intruded.
Physically, that's the claim. Intrusion, and also demonstrating symbolic gestures that they felt could provoke confrontations.
Okay, so specific concerns about territory and provocation. That's a strong statement.
A very strong statement. And he also mentioned this wasn't out of the blue, that things had been escalating since June 7th.
Ah, so there's a buildup?
Seems so. But you mentioned a dual rationale. What was the second part? That sounds intriguing. Yes, exactly. The second reason, and this one's maybe more surprising, was that these heightened measures are also, and I quote, good for countering the operations of call center and hybrid scam gangs.
Scams.
Yeah.
They explicitly linked the border closure to call center scams.
They did. The spokesperson explicitly stated these criminal operations are seen as a widespread threat that's been continuously hitting, victimizing the Thai people.
So sovereignty concerns on one hand, and this fight against transnational crime on the other.
Precisely. It really shows how the idea of national security is expanding, doesn't it? It's not just tanks and troops anymore.
It's definitely a combination you don't often see bundled quite so tightly. So, okay, a near total shutdown, but were there any exceptions? Humanitarian considerations.
Yes, and that's an important detail, a bit of nuance. The orders did make provisions for humanitarian exceptions.
Like what?
Things like passage for medical treatment, urgent patient transfers, student education was mentioned too.
Okay, essential stuff.
Right, and other essential daily needs. But critically, these are granted at the discretion of the local military units, so it's not automatic.
Got it. So control remains very tight, but with some flexibility for urgent human needs.
Exactly. The primary aim is closure, but with an acknowledgement of immediate necessity.
Okay, so Thailand makes this big move, citing sovereignty, provocation, and scams.
Yeah.
Then things get really interesting, because just hours later,
Cambodia responds.
right, Prime Minister Hun Manet,
Yeah.
and his message was quite provocative, almost like a direct challenge.
It certainly came across that way. He was speaking at the closing ceremony of the Cambodian Youth Federation in Siem Reap that evening, June 23rd.
And what was the core message?
It was striking how quickly he shifted the responsibility. His main point was that the key to resolving the problem is in the hands of the Thai government.
Putting the ball back in their court.
Completely. He explicitly said if Thailand opens the border checkpoints first, Cambodia will respond immediately. A direct counteroffer.
So basically, you closed it, you open it first, then we'll talk.
That's the essence of it. He framed it
Yeah.
as something easily fixable if Thailand just takes that initial step. It's Thailand's move to make, according to him.
But hang on, given Thailand's reasons, the sovereignty claims, the intrusion, the scams, how realistic is just opening up first?
Yeah.
Does his proposal really address those underlying issues Thailand raised?
That's the key question, isn't it? If you look at the bigger picture, Hun Manet's approach seems, well, fundamentally different to Thailand's.
How so?
He proposed, basically, restoring the border to normal is very easy. Just open the checkpoints first, then discuss troop withdrawal.
So open first, talk details later.
Exactly. And to really hammer home how simple he thinks it is, he kept using this phrase, easy as peeling a banana.
Easy as peeling a banana. That's quite an image. Memorable.
Very vivid, designed to convey, effortless resolution.
But if it's that easy, what's the holdup? Did he touch on why it might not be so simple? The trust issue, maybe?
He did. He hit that nail right on the head. He raised the fundamental question of trust. He actually said, if there is no trust, how can we start talking about military forces?
That speaks volumes, doesn't it, about the current state of relations?
Absolutely. It points to a pretty significant trust deficit being at the heart of this standoff.
So what was his appeal then?
He appealed directly to both Thai and Cambodian people. He basically said he wants the Thai army to start open unilaterally and Cambodia will follow. The problem will end easily.
A very public, very direct call for Thailand to make the first move to rebuild that trust.
Yeah, a unilateral gesture is what he's asking for.
Okay, so we have these official statements, these counteroffers, but what does it all really mean? There seems to be another layer here, right? Beyond the governments and militaries.
There usually is.
We saw this perspective surface with Thai MP Rangaman Rome. He posted on social media, didn't he, about the government cracking down on Cambodian cybercrime.
That's right. And his take was interesting. He expressed concern, about the political relationship damage. But he also supported the government's decisive action, even while saying he kind of regretted it hadn't happened sooner.
Right. So he supports the crackdown, but what does that tell us about the targets of these operations? Did he get specific?
He did, and this
Okay.
is where it gets really detailed. Rangaman Rome pointed directly at what he called the pillars and beams of these Cambodian call center gangs. He wasn't afraid to name names either.
Oh, really?
He specifically mentioned someone called He2, described him as a Thai national, but believed to be a major figure behind these scam operations.
A Thai national involved in Cambodia-based scams.
That's the allegation. And he gave details saying this He2 owns the Star Complex over in Maiwadi, Myanmar.
Myanmar. Okay, cross-border connections there too.
And also casinos in Poipet, Cambodia. The MP basically challenged the Thai government to go after this guy seriously. It definitely moves beyond just general complaints about scams.
Wow, that is specific. Named individuals, properties in multiple countries. Did he mention any other entities?
Yes, he also brought up the LYP group, said it's connected to call centers, and again, owned by a Thai national who also holds Cambodian citizenship.
Another Thai connection. What else about this group?
Well, Rangaman Rome claimed this group is a significant financial base for the Cambodian government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big claim, linking alleged scam operators to government finances.
A very big claim. And he added, strikingly, that this LYP group has also been sanctioned by other countries.
Sanctioned internationally. He didn't say by whom, I assume.
No, the statement didn't specify which countries, but just alleging international sanctions adds another layer of seriousness. It suggests, global concern.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Did he connect this group to anything else specific?
This is where it gets really startling, actually. He claims this tycoon, the one linked to LYP Group, is also connected to an entertainment complex.
Okay.
An entertainment complex that apparently incorporates call centers. But here's the kicker. He alleged that some buildings encroach on Thai territory near Trat province.
Hold on. Actual physical buildings encroaching onto Thailand, linked to these alleged scam networks.
That's the claim. Physical encroachment. He did note that construction on those specific buildings has reportedly stopped.
But the structures are still there.
But the structures remain, according to him. It takes the issue from cyberspace right back to physical sovereign territory.
That is a critical detail. It completely changes the dynamic from just scams to, well, literal border disputes tied to crime. Raises the stakes enormously.
Hugely. And it perhaps explains some of the strength in the Thai military's initial statement about sovereignty and intrusion.
Makes sense. So the MP sees this as bigger than just Thailand and Cambodia then.
Definitely. He asserted this is now a global agenda, underscoring the international implications, the transnational nature of these criminal networks.
It's not just a local spat.
Far from it. And he ended with a slightly cryptic note, just mentioning Pol, Major General Tao, leaves you wondering what other connections or details might still be hidden.
Lots of threads there. So this deep dive, it really reveals this complex interplay, doesn't it? National security, economic crime, diplomatic relations, it's all tangled up.
It really is. It's not just lines on a map or military exercises.
And one thing that stands out to me is this sort of strategic paradox. Thailand, using a very traditional tool, a physical border closure, to tackle a very modern, digital-era problem like these transnational scams.
Yeah, how effective can a physical wall be against a virtual threat, ultimately? It highlights a major challenge in modern security,
It does. And then you've got Hunmane's counteroffer. Is it just a diplomatic move or a genuine path forward? His focus on Thailand moving first.
It screams trust deficit, doesn't it? It underlines how much that lack of trust complicates any potential de-escalation.
The whole situation really crystallizes these evolving challenges. Border control isn't just about physical territory anymore.
Not at all. It's about combating crime that jumps borders digitally. It's a much more elusive kind of threat.
And these specifics that Rangaman Rome brought up, HIO2, the LYP group, that alleged land encroachment near Trat, they add such tangible, almost shocking elements.
They really do. It shows how deep these problems might run, literally touching sovereign soil.
So you have to wonder, right? How do you find diplomatic solutions when you have these massive criminal enterprises, maybe with links to official entities, complicating everything?
It's incredibly difficult. What stands out to you when you hear the different motivations, the different proposed solutions from each side? It's definitely not simple.
Not at all. It feels very layered with deeply entrenched interests on all sides. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. If Cambodia says the key is trust and acting first, how do you actually build that trust? Especially when one side is pointing to things like territorial intrusion and these huge criminal operations as the core reasons for its actions.
Yeah, where do you start rebuilding when the foundations seem so fractured? And looking broader, what are the implications for regional stability? It have border sovereignty, human trafficking, cybercrime, all distinct issues, seemingly getting so tangled up that they demand military responses and these public diplomatic showdowns.
It feels like a fundamental shift, maybe, in how international relations might work in this digital age.
It definitely demands new ways of thinking, new strategies, and maybe a much deeper look at the hidden forces that are actually driving these conflicts.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Suthichai Live English Podcast.
Oh, thank you, Ping and Pong. So, to wrap up, urgent, confirmed that Thailand has closed all its border checkpoints in the country bordering Cambodia. Sakeo, Buriram, Surin, Srisaket, Chanthaburi, Trat, except for students, university students, and patients who need urgent treatment. Otherwise, no one is allowed in or out. Even tourists. No businesses either. So this is quite a major step pushing both countries into a more direct confrontation, which is quite unfortunate Stay tuned for the next episode of Suthichai Live English podcast on Suthichai Live. Thank you. Until then, good night. 1.5 ล้านแล้วครับ1,500,000 คนผู้ที่ติดตาม subscribe สุทธิชัย Live ใน YouTube ขอบคุณทุกท่านนะครับที่กดแชร์กดไลค์และขอบคุณเป็นพิเศษสำหรับผู้ติดตามสุทธิชัย Live ใน YouTube ที่กด Super Chat Super Sticker เป็นกำลังใจให้กับทีมงานของผมครับ 1.5 ล้านวันนี้ตั้งเป้า2 ล้านก่อนสิ้นปีขอบคุณทุกท่านที่ช่วยกันครับ